Hello. How you doing? No, I haven't been training. I've been training in the past few weeks. I mean, it's quarantine time, gym's closed. There's no reason for me to work out. Nah, home workout, man. Now that, I'm not gonna, get any stronger by doing just some push-ups and sit-ups at home. Yeah, I know, my friend told me that you lose muscle. No, bro. Doesn't work like that. No, I've been feeling tired too. I don't know, this home workout thing is not for me. I mean, it doesn't really work and I'm tired and, might as well just, stay cool now, take it a little bit chill and then, I'll get back in the gym when it opens up. You recognize that situation? Or are you in a situation where you don't really have time to go to the gym? Or do you think that only place you can get a good workout in is at the gym? So you might as well just not work out if you can't go to the gym. Well, you can get a pretty good workout in if you work out from home, if you do it right, or if you really focus on your muscles. So I am Martin from One Camera Life, and today I'm going to show you a leg workout that you can do from home with no equipment. So you don't even need an exercise mat. I mean, it's preferable if you have it, because then you don't have to sweat all over the place, but in principle, you don't really need anything except from whatever furniture you got at home. I actually also made a upper body workout that you can do from home and a full body workout. Both require no to very little equipment depending on what you want to do. So check them out. I'll copy in a link below. I'll also copy in a link to my website that has more info about weight loss, exercise, and health. If you want to see more videos like this about health, weight loss, and exercise, then subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on them. So this is what the program looks like. I've copied in a link to a downloadable PDF of this program in the description below so that you can have it available to you whenever you want to work out. I've grouped exercises together into different sections. The exercises in the different sections are supposed to hit similar muscle groups. Within each section, you perform the listed exercises right after each other and then rest before you resume with the next set. Perform all of your sets in one section before moving on to the next. With regards to the rep range, I've written down mostly 8 to 12 reps, because this is a rep range that is associated with hypertrophy. That being said, don't get married to this rep range. You might be able to perform more reps than 12, so keep going until you hit failure with each set. Set-wise, I listed mostly 2 to 3 or 2 to 4 sets. An idea could be to start with fewer sets, then add more as you develop strength and experience. That way you can also use sets to adjust volume, which will have an impact on your muscle growth and strength. Lastly, I have added 2 columns with exercises beginner and advanced. All of us might have different levels of experience, strength, and coordination, so I tried to make the program suitable for more people. So why have we grouped exercises into different sections? One reason is convenience, as with the adductor exercises, and the second reason is to work the muscle more. When we're doing bodyweight exercises, it can be difficult to attain the intensity that we need in order to create an adaptive response. When a muscle is working, say with a bicep curl, we can perform multiple lifts given that we have a weight that is appropriate. And as we go along, it will be more and more difficult to perform the lift. And at some point, our muscle will be completely depleted and we can no longer perform the lift. That's when we hit what we call failure. So when we start to approach failure, we start to develop tears and damage in the muscle fibers. And then the body initiates a process to repair that damage, and then as a result of that we get hypertrophy or muscle growth, and then we also get muscle strength because we adapt to the new process. We don't perform work up to the point where we start to create that damage and those tears, then the body has nothing to recover from or adjust to. It is easy to fail to lift to the point where the muscle needs to adapt to a harder load. So an idea could be to try to reach failure, or at least work up to as close as failure as you can with every set. For a long time there's been a debate on whether you should go to failure or not. Some say yes, some say no, some say leave a few in the tank, and so on. There's a lot going into this. For instance, nervous system fatigue or recovery time after working out. This is beyond the scope of this video. Working to failure when you're doing this program and when you have limited ways to adjust resistance will at least ensure that you hit that level where your body has to adapt. With regards to an adaptive response, there's an important principle called progressive overload, which basically means that you need to progressively increase the load over time, either through intensity, frequency, or mode of exercise, or duration. So not only do we need to work until we hit some level of fatigue, but we also need to progressively increase the load over time. So there's a few ways we can attain this throughout this exercise program. We can do more reps, we can do more sets, we can do harder exercises, we can do the 4-second lowering phase, we can control the lift more, and we can do isometric holds. So a quick tip, if you find yourself in a place where you can do a lot of repetitions, then try to do better quality reps. And what I mean by that is, control the lift more, try to do a 4-second lowering phase, and don't use a lot of momentum. That way you'll increase the difficulty dramatically. You can, most likely, you'll be able to do a lot fewer reps. So how often should you do this workout? Well, you should allow about 72 hours between workouts of similar muscle groups. And more importantly, you might ask, can you grow muscle and strength with just body weight? Well, you're creating tension and you're creating stress on a muscle. And you're creating muscle damage. So there's definitely an adaptive process going on if you do it correctly. And calisthenics guys, they look pretty damn muscular, but so does bodybuilders too. So there's that. So now that I told you about the program, let me now show you the exercises. First up, we have the single leg squat. Try to initiate the movement at the hips rather than at the knees. So scoot your butt out first rather than just bending your knees. Then gently touch the surface before you return to standing. Remember, don't rest on the surface, but gently touch it with your butt. This one requires balance, coordination, and strength, so if you're completely new to the exercise, it might be better to start with an easier alternative, namely the box squat, like I'm doing here. Essentially the same movement, but you do it with 2 legs. A natural progression trajectory could be to move from regular box squat to single leg box squat with a higher surface, say about 45 degrees above parallel, before progressing to a single leg squat with a lower surface again. We are going to pair the single leg squat with the Bulgarian lunge. Assume a position like I've done on the video. I try to think of the movement as sitting back rather than shooting my knee forward, which many do. Remember to try to maintain a neutral spine during the whole exercise. Here you can also incorporate a half lift to make it harder. Lower your body, on your way back up, stop about halfway up and go back down before returning to standing. This would count as 1 rep. I have an easier alternative here too. All single leg movements require a certain level of balance and coordination. So if you struggle with either of those, an alternative could be to do regular lunges on one leg at a time and hold onto a chair or a kin for support. A progression trajectory could be to work your way up to a Bulgarian lunge with a chair as support. Over to the next section. This is another single leg movement and is supposed to emulate a step up, like you're stepping onto something. Essentially, you're taking a knee and you're trying to get up. Try to use the kneeling leg as little as possible and remember to maintain a neutral spine. I feel it more in my hamstring if I try to focus more on a hip extension movement rather than just getting up. Hip extension means straightening out your hips. The reason that I feel this is probably because the hamstrings and the glute max are hip extensors, whereas the muscles on the front side of your leg are mostly knee extensors. This is an advanced movement, and if you need an easier version, you can try to hold on to a chair or a kin, or even resort to a regular lunge if needed. The elevation squat will be paired with a bridge hamstring curl, a phenomenal exercise for the hamstring. Put your feet on something that slides, you can even use your socks. Bridge, and then slide your feet back and forth using your hamstrings. Remember to try to maintain a strong core and hips to get the most out of the exercise. See my example up in the corner where my posture is collapsing. I don't get the same effect from the exercise by doing that. You can try to work your way up to a single leg curl, which can be really difficult. We'll finish this section with a single leg hip thrust. Maintain a strong neutral spine and then bridge into full extension. If this is too difficult, you can use both legs. Here it is easy to do a half-ass one, so try to fully extend your hips. So over to the back part of the workout. We're starting with an exercise called the bird dog. Lift the opposite leg and arm like I do and try to create a straight line. Here it is easy to lift your leg above hip level or bending your knee, so try to stay on a straight line like the arrow is indicating. Here the erector spinae muscles work as stabilizers of the spine, which is good considering that the lumbar spine is a stability joint. Next up, reverse hypers. You can either use a bed or like I do here, the edge of a couch together with your pillow. This is essentially a reverse back extension, so work on extending your hips by using your back muscles and your glutes. Try to maintain straight legs throughout the movement. The last back exercise is a Superman lift. Lay on your stomach with your arms out in front of your head. Extend your hips and lift your chest off the ground like I do here. Over to the often neglected adductors. These are the muscles on the inside of your leg that pulls the leg towards your center line. I like to lay on a couch or bed like I'm doing here with one of my legs free to move on the outside of the couch. Perform a lift like you see on the video. Over to the abductors. They do the opposite job to that of the adductors. For this one, lay on the side old column me style and lift your upper leg. Try to reach full abduction like I'm doing here. Lastly, we have some calf work. Stand on a slightly elevated surface with most of your feet sticking out, or foot if you're doing single leg. Lift your heel above the ground slowly before you lower your heel slowly. If a single leg movement is too difficult, then go for double leg calf raise. You see that I use a folded blanket here. This is not optimal, but it works. A bottom step of a staircase or a sturdy box or kin might be even better and allow for more movement. That's it, guys. Hope you find this one useful. And remember, just because you don't have a gym membership or you don't have time to go to the gym, that doesn't exclude you from getting a good workout in. So stay tuned. And yeah, again, if you like this video and want to see more videos about exercise, health, and weight loss, then subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my website, onekimura.com. Don't miss out on the fun, guys. Have a good one.